What's the most famous love story ever told?
Oh my gosh! I guess what would you say, Romeo and Juliet?
If the most famous love story has a man and a woman dying for each other, why are love stories usually framed where the man sacrifices himself for the woman?
Because he should. All men should sacrifice themselves.
What's the reason behind that? Where does that come from?
Why? Because men are destructive to society and women should reign.
I think it kind of goes back to biblical times where the man should be the head of the household. They should make the sacrifices. The women just follow and be submissive, and the man leads.
I think that's kind of just the way that society's gone, where men are the ones who are supposed to fall on the sword. Man's hands are dirty so that women's can be clean.
Because that's how it should be. I mean, if you're a provider, then you should be willing to lay your life down for your woman.
You know, I don't have a problem being in the role as a man and like sacrificing for a woman that cares about me. But really, the way that society is these days, in America especially, it's like the women want everything from the man and they're not willing to give anything in return. They want chivalry, but they're not willing to reciprocate with, you know, being in their feminine energy. It's really tough in this day and age, especially in Las Vegas, trying to date. You know, it's crazy.
Do you believe in 50-50 relationships or traditional roles, and why?
It depends. So me personally, I go for 50-50 because I love to work and I love to provide. But if a traditional, like where the man provides, works, then that's good for you.
How can relationships ever be 50-50 when the man's expected to sacrifice himself for the woman and serve her with chivalry?
That's a great question. I mean, it can be reciprocated.
It can go both ways. Like the man can sacrifice while the woman is also sacrificed. So 50-50 can be the man sacrifices himself with chivalry, respect, and all that. And the woman is at home cooking, cleaning, taking care of the housely duties. That in itself is 50-50.
Why will men sacrifice their personal happiness for their family while women will sacrifice their family for their personal happiness?
Ooh, that's a good one. So you can't just like paint a picture of it because it's different for every woman. I would say women are expected to, literally give up everything. So it's okay, I would say, for a woman to choose herself for once, when in history, she's always chose her family first.
I'd say that's just the way that society has etched it out at this point. Feminism has kind of corrupted the whole thought of sacrificing for your family. Feminists are kind of taking over, and it seems like they're mostly out here for themselves.
And guys, just because your woman is not a feminist, she may have friends who are feminists. And those friends may have friends who are feminists too. And actually, I find it very hard to believe because I know some guys like to say, oh, there's some good women out here, Boogie. There's some good women out here who are not feminists. I'm telling you, if she's not a feminist, she has feminist friends or feminist-like mindset, which means really they have the same beliefs. So chances are your woman is a feminist too. Especially if you want to know a woman is a feminist, she's going to be like, oh, I believe in equality, but I want a traditional man. That's a feminist.
If a father of two kids sees a random woman attacked in public, should he intervene and protect that random woman?
Ooh, I would say yes.
Well, if men are supposed to be protectors, why shouldn't they protect their own family first? Why should that man risk his life, potentially leaving his own kids without a father?
Good question.
Like you got me there. It goes back to biblical. I feel like if he stands firm on what he believes in and helps, I think his family will be safe.
Should all men be held?
He will be dead. Guys, don't be out here losing your lives for strange women you don't know. Your mama is going to cry. Your kids are going to cry. No one is. The woman you protect from a bad guy and the bad guy kills you, she's going to go back to that same guy the same night and he's going to clap her cheeks. You will be dead. Your kids will be without a father. She's never going to come home and try to take care of your kids. Please don't do it.
Biblical standards when not all men follow the Bible?
My belief, yes. But honestly, you can't be held to a standard that you don't understand or you don't have knowledge about.
So I would say a perfect example of this is like the man who was out with his girlfriend and she got jumped and he was defending his girlfriend and stuff like that. I believe that if you see danger, you should be willing to be the one to step in. Like even me personally, if I saw that, I would be willing to step in and protect those people.
Now, continuing on that point, why should men be sent to war to fight someone else's battle?
Women are sent to war to fight someone else's battle as well.
Not true.
But aren't men required to register for selective service, but not women?
That is true. Yes, they are. But that's just, again, if you want to go back to traditional roles, I mean, who set that system up? Men did.
They set this system up. Men set up the system to be empowered, to be in dirty positions, to separate gender roles. And I think that they should allow the fluidity of everybody entering in every role and every possibility that men think that they have to be part of.
But women like the traditional roles. Well, let me take that back. They like the traditional roles of a man. They don't like their own traditional roles. So, like I said, they will scream, I want equality, equality. But when the rent is due, when the check comes on a date, when the protection comes into it, oh, a real man will protect me. A real man will be a provider. And then I'm like, oh, but I thought you just said you want equality. I thought you just said, she will say she wants to work, but at the same time, she's going to go work, keep her money, and then she's going to expect you to work and pay her bills. And you're like, why are you working, saving your money, and then I have to pay all this? Oh, but you're a man, a traditional man, a real man will provide. I'm like, oh, but I thought you, it's confusing. So they want selective traditionalism that benefits them. If it doesn't benefit them, if it puts any responsibility on themselves, they don't want it.
Should men be willing to go to war and die for a country that seems to hate them?
Are we talking about all men or black men?
If men are more valued in society, why would they be the first ones sacrificed in war?
Probably because there'd be no chance of winning that war.
The only reason that men are quote unquote more valued in society is because they set up that system so that women and anybody that's not a white cis man is valued more. So they should be the first to go to war and be sacrificed.
Why would women appreciate the sacrifices men make when men are required to make those sacrifices to qualify as a man?
I think that it's preached throughout social media that women should just want more, more, and more. And that intrinsically is going to translate into them not appreciating when a man actually does something for them.
I think that men should take the bulk of responsibilities. It is their position in life. They're born into a world that is designed for them to be successful. If anybody has the best chance of being successful, it would be a man.
So why aren't men the ones placed on a pedestal and entitled to go first instead of women?
Because men are a dime a dozen.
I mean, they could. In this new generation, we got a lot of guys that want to. I wouldn't be interested in one of those men in particular. But again, that's just my personal preference.
What do women provide that justifies a man risking his life?
Well, it used to be feminine energy, the ability to reproduce,
Nature,
and being a
nurturing.
homemaker that takes care of everything aside from a man going out and providing and protecting.
Even if women did cook and clean, which they already do for themselves anyway, why would that be a fair trade for the sacrifices that men are expected to make?
Well, again, assuming that like you have traditional gender roles, the cooking and the cleaning, a man has to do that for himself as well. So why would the expectation be that a woman would have to do that in exchange for anything?
Okay, so that means the man doesn't have to die. Because, guys, this woman is going to ask you to die for her. But then the moment you ask her to cook, she's going to be like, I'm not a slave. But if somebody attacks her and somebody has a gun, she expects you to put your life on the line for her. Guess what is going to happen? They're going to kill you and she's going to come talk to Boogie. It's not like when they kill you, she's never going to talk to any other man until the rest of her life. No. The moment you're dead, the next day, she's going to be on Tinder swiping to look for another man.
If I have to go to work and take care of myself and provide for myself, once I get a mate, I don't feel like that role ends. I personally don't like being dependent on anybody for my sole everything. Like, I think there should be a partnership. And if men want the respect, which is what I hear most men say, they want to be the king, I want to be the head, then you should take a bulk of the responsibilities if that is how you feel.
Because I think that's what men want. Men want somebody that's going to take care of them in the home. And I think women want somebody that's going to protect and provide for them traditionally.
If you expect a traditional role and you're, out providing, making money, bringing home the bacon, why wouldn't you expect your woman to, be at home taking care of the house? I would say that's a completely fair trade because that's an additional job taken off your shoulders.
Do Christians believe that men should be like Jesus, sacrificial, while women should be like the Virgin Mary?
I do. I am very religious and I do believe that they should be that way.
Why is there more religious pressure on men to be sacrificed than there's religious pressure on women to be virgins?
Feminism.
Honestly, I feel like that answer is answered depending on what culture you were born in and what religion you believe in.
If you look at the Bible, it's like women being virgins and like men sacrificing. It's like men aren't expected to sacrifice that much versus if you look like in other countries, like
What?
women are expected to cover up and stuff like that. Like men don't have that same expectation.
If religion is a choice, why isn't dying in war also a choice?
I think that's because that's been the standard set for us for years.
Because of the draft, because of government stipulations on who has to go to war and who not. I mean, there hasn't been a draft for a while, but I could see that happening at some point.
Does history justify an injustice that's been taking place?
It plays a part.
Well, why defend the injustice of male sacrifice just because it's happened in the past?
Ooh, you've got me. I don't have a response for that one.
In a country of religious freedom, why should someone's beliefs be forced onto others?
I don't believe anybody's beliefs are forced on anybody. We are in Sin City right now. Like, if this is a Christian nation, this would be like Sodom and Gomorrah and burnt down, but that isn't how things are.
The short answer is they shouldn't. Some people are weak-minded and they will be swayed in whatever direction somebody is telling them that they should be, but I'm not that guy.
Religious people and like I'm not religious, so I kind of feel strongly about that. Religious people always try to impose their views like that. Like if you just look in America today, like they're always trying to impose religion in our laws when not everyone follows Christianity.
Honestly, with the question of religion, I don't care who people pray to, man. Just be good to people. Don't hurt people. Just be respectful. That's all. Don't force your beliefs on anyone. That's what I believe.
What are your thoughts on the following expression? Sperm is cheap, eggs are expensive.
I think that's disgusting. I don't think we should be putting a price on our bodies.
Sperm's cheap because you can easily there's a lot of men willing to give that up, and I feel like it's not hard to go find a sperm donor versus an egg donor. I feel like would be a little bit more.
Well, I've never been to a sperm bank, so I don't know how expensive sperm is, but I have followed stories of women who do IVF, and from what I've heard, it's incredibly expensive.
I think it's bullshit because, yeah, just any man's sperm is maybe not valuable, but at the same time, any woman's egg isn't valuable. It's like there's genetics, there's quality of character, there's other factors that go into the value of each gender, each specific person's reproductive, whatever it is, juices. I don't know.
Would you guys be? Have you guys? I don't know if I should be talking about this, but if a woman approached you to donate your sperm, would you guys do it? I know it's a crazy question, but I gotta ask. If a woman gave you $1 million to donate your sperm, would you do it? I mean, $1 million. Be honest. If a woman gave you $1 million, would you donate your sperm? I think most guys would do it. Most guys would probably do it for cheap, because guys who go to the sperm banks and donate their sperm, they do it for way cheaper.
Why are women seen as more valuable based on the idea of repopulating a society when they're restricted to one man, one woman through God's marital arrangement?
Because at the end of the day, there's always going to be some man that's willing to impregnate a woman, but there's not always going to be a woman that's ready to bear the children of any man. I'm not sure.
How can men and women have equal value as human beings if men are disposable?
I feel like the only way to be equal is to both sacrifice the same things.
Why should
So that means we'll never be equal, because women are not willing to sacrifice, and then men are tired of being the sacrificial lambs.
biology or religion dictate a man's gender role any more than a woman's role?
I don't think that they do, really. Well, no, I take that back. Men are stronger than women, and that is natural by design. I believe that women are more innately nurturing, but having those dominant qualities, I don't think is a prerequisite for you being thrust into some type of American set gender role.
Why do we typically save women and children first in an emergency situation?
Because they're the weaker gender of the human species, and basically, traditionally, men are protectors and providers, and that is an act of that role.
But they also gotta, you know, that would repopulate the earth, because remember, one man can impregnate 10 women in the same day. So that's why they get off the boat first. But also, apparently, they used to, like when kingdoms used to fight, if they attacked one village, they would steal all the kids. I think they would kill the kids and take the women. They would kill the kids, they'll kill the men, and then they'd take the women.
How is being physically stronger going to help men survive when they sink on the Titanic?
Well, for one, they have greater endurance. So if Rose couldn't hold him on the door, maybe he could have swam, to a lifeboat that was a little bit further. But I think that's a dramatization. The reality is that I think men have a greater chance of survival because they are stronger.
I think it's kind of like a societal norm that, men are physically stronger, so that's their gender role is to be.
But I mean, on the Titanic, being physically stronger didn't make a difference. They just were sacrificed because you're a man and you're disposable. So what does physical strength have to do with disposability?
I'm not sure it's so much physical strength. I think that, in that day and age, women were valued more as being
more traditional,
the gender that can reproduce, and children being innocent, and basically men are sacrificial. Like they're a dime a dozen.
Why?
No, at the time of the Titanic, the women were more traditional, so men were more willing to sacrifice their life for their wives, for their girlfriends, for their sisters, for their mothers, for strange women. But because in 2025, the traditional roles are honestly at this point over with, men are not willing to just lay their life and lose their life. Like if the Titanic happened in 2025, I can guarantee you men would find a way to get off the boat first. They wouldn't leave the women and kids to get off. Maybe the kids, but when it comes to, getting off the boat first, men would definitely get off the boat first in 2025.